You serious?
Hello, this is another episode of How to Kill an Hour. My name is Marcus Bronzy.
Bonjour, I'm Sean.
How you doing, Sean? You right, mate?
Good, man. I'm very, very warm, but very, very nice and cool in here.
Yeah, you got air conditioning in it. It's nice.
Dreamy.
You know what?
Absolutely dreamy.
I'm such a prat, in the studio I've been chilling under AC all day at the perfect temperature, so I thought, let me warm myself up with a hot drink, stepped outside and felt the warmth. Not only was I drinking a hot drink in the heat, I was getting looked at by everybody in the offices going, what the hell are you, bro? Are you mad, bro? Drinking a steaming brew. So I finished it and came back to the studio.
Probably just jealousy. I'm like, how is this guy so, how is he so cool?
Bruv, you have to be jealous, yeah, when you're around people that have got the jokes
Of the week.
Let's get straight into it. First part of the show where Sean and I scoured the internet for some jokes and shared them with each other. Sean, I got a bunch of them, so I'm just going to jump straight in.
Ooh,
Okay, all right. A lady was about 8 months pregnant on a bus, but she noticed the man opposite her was smiling at her. She immediately moved to another seat. This time, the smile turned into a grin, so she moved again. The man seemed to be amused. So when on the fourth move, the man bursted out to laugh. She complained to the bus driver and had the man arrested. The case came up in court. The judge asked the man, who was about 20 years old, what he had to say for himself. The young man replied, well, Your Honour, it was like this. When the lady got on the bus, I couldn't help but notice her condition. She sat down under a sign that said, the double mint twins are coming. So I grinned. And then she moved and sat under a sign that said, Logan's liniment will reduce the swelling. So I had to smile. And then she placed herself under a deodorant sign that said, William's big stick did the trick. And I could hardly contain myself. But Your Honour, when she moved the fourth time and sat under a sign that said, Goodyear rubber could have prevented this accident, I just lost it. Case dismissed. There you go. A nice, silly, simple joke to kick it off where I fluffed the line.
Absolutely nailed it on the second time ask.
Yeah.
This one might have been done before, but big up Xanthi on this one because she told me this the other day, a friend of mine, and I said to her that I would
go for it. Big you up.
What do you call a chicken staring at a lettuce?
I don't know. What do you call a chicken staring?
Do you know this one? Do you know it?
No, I don't know.
You sure?
I'm sure I don't.
Chicken Caesar salad.
It's so bad that it's good,
Right?
It's so bad that it's good. If bad and good was a circle, yeah, you've gone all the way around bad and you're just tapping into
full
good
circle.
again. You're tapping into good again. All right, okay. I got another one. It's about Little Johnny. We like Little Johnny jokes.
Okay.
Little Johnny was sitting in a class doing maths problem when his teacher picked him to answer a question. Johnny, if there are 5 birds sitting on a fence and you shot one with your gun, how many would be left? None, replied Johnny. The rest would fly away. Well, the answer is 4, said the teacher, but I like the way you're thinking. Little Johnny says, I have a question for you. If there are 3 women eating an ice cream cone outside a shop, one's licking the cone, the second's biting it, and the third is sucking it, which one is married? Well, said the teacher nervously, I guess the one sucking the cone? No, said Little Johnny, the one with a wedding ring on her finger. But I like the way you're thinking. Man, like Little Johnny.
Hey.
Oh, maybe I'll tell a joke first time.
Oh man, don't put that pressure on yourself.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay. A guy goes to his doctor and says, Doc, I have a problem. My penis has turned bright orange.
Yeah.
Doctor examines him and says, wow, you are correct. I have to ask you a few questions to diagnose this issue. Doctor, does your job require you to come into contact with any strong chemicals? The man replied, no, I retired from banking 5 years ago. The doctor says, have you had sex with any prostitutes lately? The man says, no, in fact, my wife died 3 months ago and I haven't had sex since.
Okay.
Doctor says, are you engaged in any unusual hobbies or activities? The man replied, no, I actually live a very boring life. I just sit around eating Cheetos and watching porn all day. That'll do it.
That'll do it. I was about to say that. Oh,
Sorry.
man. Oh, man. All right. Bill and Marla decided the only way to pull off a Sunday afternoon quickie with their 10-year-old son in the apartment was to send him out on the balcony and order him to report on all neighbourhood activities. The boy began his commentary as his parents put the plan into operation. There's a big car being towed from the parking lot, he said. An ambulance just drove by. A few moments passed. And it looks like the Andersons have company, he called out. Matt's riding a new bike. And the Coopers, they're having sex. Mum and Dad shot up in bed. How do you know that? The startled father asked. Well, their kid is standing on the balcony too.
He knows what's going on.
He knows what's going on. Can't kid a kidder.
A journalist goes to an undisclosed country for a documentary. In a little village, he saw an old man and asked him to narrate a typical happy story of his village. The old man smiled and began. One day a long time ago, my goat got lost in the mountains. As in our tradition, all the men of the village gathered to drink vodka first and then looked for the goat. When we finally found her, as is our tradition, we all drank some more vodka and all the men in the village each got their turn to mate with the goat. We had such fun that day. The journalist realised that he couldn't publish such a story, so he asked the man if he had another happy story. The old man smiled again and started over. Once my neighbour's wife got lost in the mountains. As per our tradition, all the village's men gathered to drink vodka and then went to look for her. As is our tradition, when we finally found her, all the men in the village got to have their turn to mate with the neighbour's wife. We all had such great fun that day. The journalist couldn't publish that story either, and therefore asked, don't you potentially have a story that's maybe less happy, something maybe a little sadder? The old man's smile faded. His eyes welled up. In a sad, soft voice, he began, one day, I got lost in the mountains.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. This one's a bit spicy, so we might have to,
Okay.
if our producer could please bleep out the super swearers at the end. Little Johnny's English teacher asked his students to...
Little Johnny is the worst.
Little Johnny's English teacher asked his students to write a composition. This composition has to include the following topics: religion, sex, monarchy, and mystery. And you have 30 minutes. After 20 seconds, Johnny put his paper on the teacher's desk and left. The teacher picks up the paper and it said, "My God, someone just fucked the Queen. Who was it?"
Hey, Little Johnny's a G, bro. I'm telling you. He can't kid Little Johnny, you know.
Little Johnny, man like Little Johnny.
Can't pull the wool over his eyes.
Shout out to all the Little Johnnies out there.
No. 3 guys died and found themselves next to each other on the other side. First guy said, "Sure is quiet." The second guy replied, "It sure is. I remember dying, so I guess we're dead, right?" "I guess so. I wonder what will happen next." After a moment of silence, the first guy decided to ask about how each of them had died. The second guy, with a somber tone, began telling a story. "So I came home early one day. I discovered my wife being naked and flustered. I quickly assumed she was having an affair. I thought the guy couldn't have gone far. So when I thought I saw something pass outside our front lawn, I immediately thought that it was the guy. So in a fit of rage, I threw our fridge at him right through the door. His face was smashed. He died a gruesome death.
Wow.
It turns out he was just some innocent neighbour passing by. I got arrested by the cops. I lost my trial and I ended up getting the death sentence." "That's awful," said the first guy. "It's kind of similar to mine though, you know. I was walking down the street to visit a neighbour so I could borrow a ladder. Then all of a sudden, this fridge came flying out of nowhere straight at my face. The next thing I know, I'm already here." "What? That means you're the guy I killed. Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologise for killing you, man. I feel really bad about it." "It's okay. I guess I would have done the same if I was in your shoes." Then both of them turned to the third guy, who'd been very quiet all this time. "So, man, how did you die?" asked the first guy. "I was the one in the fridge."
All right. Okay. A young boy had just gotten his driving permit. He asked his father, who was a minister, if they could discuss the use of his car. The father said to him, "I'll make a deal with you. You bring your grades up, study your Bible a little, get your hair cut, and we'll talk about it." A month later, the boy came back and asked his father if they could discuss the use of his car. His father said, "Son, I'm real proud of you. You've brought your grades up, you've studied your Bible diligently, but you didn't get your hair cut." The young man waited a moment. "You know, Dad, I've been thinking about that. You know, Samson had long hair, Moses had long hair, Noah had long hair, even Jesus had long hair." His father replied, "Yes, son," and they walked everywhere they went.
Oh, that's oh,
You must pass. Get your bus pass, son.
he's not wrong.
Get your bus pass. You get me? I don't really think there was transport in those days.
I would say potentially Noah was just like riding around with some animals, though, isn't it?
He would have had, look,
He's like,
hypothetically.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm about to put you in the ark.
Yeah.
Make yourself useful, innit?
Hypothetically, bro. Yeah. Probably had the selection of animals that would be quite a fun place to chill at the Ark. You can go see some alligators, snake, two of everything as well. As you can two of everything. You get me?
It was fortunate that all of the pairs that he picked were all up for mating. It was really.
Could you imagine?
It was a good coincidence.
Imagine
They were like, you need to carry on our species, and you're like, not really feeling this one.
Don't like the personality. Personality's a bit whack. They're cool, but it's just not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah. That spark's not there, innit?
Spark ain't there, brother. Spark's got to be sparking, you know. All right.
A married man was having an affair with his secretary. One day, they went to her place and they made love all afternoon. Exhausted, they fell asleep and woke up at 8 p.m. The man hurried to get dressed and told his lover to take his shoes outside and rub them in the grass and dirt. He put his shoes on and drove home. As soon as he got in, "Where have you been?" his wife demanded. "I can't lie to you," he replied. "I'm having an affair with my secretary and we had sex all afternoon." She looked down at his shoes and said, "You lying moron, you've been playing golf all evening." Oh, dear.
All right. I love the ones. They're great. This is a bit of a longer one, right?
Okay.
So stay with me. All right. It's a little bit this is a bit longer than our usual ones, but I'll get into it. A duck walks into a pub and orders a pint of beer and a ham sandwich. The barman looks at him and says, "Hang on, you're a duck." "I see your eyes are working," replies the duck. "And you can talk," exclaims the barman. "I see your ears are working too," says the duck. "Now, if you don't mind, can I have my beer and my sandwich, please?" Barman says, "Sorry, yep, certainly, sorry about that." Pulls out the pint and gives him his sandwich. The barman says, "It's just we don't get many ducks in this pub. What are you doing round this way?" "I'm working on the building site across the road," explains the duck. "I'm a plasterer." The flabbergasted barman cannot believe the duck and wants to learn more, but takes the hint when the duck pulls out a newspaper from his bag and proceeds to read it. So the duck reads his paper, drinks his beer, eats his sandwich, and bids the barman good day and leaves. The same thing happens for 2 weeks. But one day, the circus comes to town. The ringmaster comes into the pub for a pint and the barman says to him, "You're with the circus, aren't you? Well, I know this duck that could be brilliant in your circus. He talks, drinks beer, eats sandwiches, reads the newspaper and everything. Sounds marvellous," says the ringmaster, handing over his business card. "Get him to give me a call." So the next day, the duck comes into the pub and the barman says, "Hey, Mr. Duck, I reckon I can line you up with a top job paying really, really good money." "I'm always looking for the next job," says the duck. "Where is it?" "At the circus," says the barman. "The circus," repeats the duck. "That's right." "The circus," the duck asks again. "With the big tent?" "Yeah," the barman replies. "With the animals who live in cages and the performers that live in caravans," says the duck. "Of course," the barman replies. "And the tent that has canvas sides and the big roof and the hole in the middle," persists the duck. "That's right," says the barman. The duck shakes his head in amazement and says, "What the hell would they want with a plasterer?"
I didn't see that one.
I can see the comments already. All of that for that payoff. That's a minute of my life I'll never get back. Yeah.
The worst one in primary/secondary one. Do you remember?
I remember that, and I have got a version of that. I know exactly the one you're talking about. Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about, yeah?
moral of the story. Yeah, okay. I've got a version of that, right? And if this does well, I think we should bring up, because there's a few versions of it. It's fantastic, bruv. It's fantastic. That's what I thought of when I saw this, and I googled that joke, and that joke is still knocking around.
Are we going to keep it? We're going to keep it stum up until it.
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's asked for, if people request it, we'll go for it. I love that joke, because you know what? I love it because even if I forget the bit from it that you use, you can just make up a bit for it and use it. It's great. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. All right.
A middle-aged couple had 2 beautiful daughters, but always talked about having a son. They decided to try one last time for the son they always wanted. The wife got pregnant and delivered a healthy baby boy. The joyful father rushed to the nursery to see his new son. He was horrified at the ugliest baby he had ever seen. He told his wife, "There is no way I can be the father of this baby. Look at these 2 beautiful daughters I fathered. Have you been fooling around behind my back?" The wife smiled sweetly and replied, "Not this time, honey."
Savage. I love those ones. Hadouken. I just feel like it's Hadouken. Right. I remember the time I took my kid out for their first drink. Off we went to the local bar only 2 blocks from the house. I got them a Guinness. They didn't like it, so I drank it. So then I got them a Pilsner. They didn't like that, so I drank it. Finally, I thought maybe a lager. They didn't like that, so I drank it. So I thought, okay, how about a fancy little whiskey? A 25-year-old Glenfiddich. The bar's finest scotch. They wouldn't even smell it. So what could I do? Drank that as well. I thought they just didn't like to drink or they didn't like the environment there. Anyway, I was so shit-faced I could hardly push their stroller to the other bar. Did you see that coming? You didn't see that coming? You didn't see that coming?
My brain was going.
Where's it coming? All right.
We going for a few more?
Yeah, let's throw a couple more in, man. Let's throw a couple more. Why not? Good run. I'm reading so well today. Let's continue, shall we?
A mortician was working late one night. He examined the body of Mr. Schwartz, about to be cremated, and made a startling discovery. Mr. Schwartz had the largest private parts he had ever seen. I'm sorry, Mr. Schwartz, the mortician commented. I just can't allow you to be cremated with such an impressive private part. It must be saved for posterity. So he removed it, stuffed it into his briefcase, and took it home. I have something to show you that you won't believe, he said to his wife upon opening his briefcase. My God, his wife exclaimed, Mr. Schwartz is dead.
Oh, that's dope. I like that. Okay, I've got one. This is kind of similar, right?
Okay.
A housemaid demands a raise from the lady of the house. Lady, so what do you have in mind? Maid, for starters, I'd like to have a Ferrari. Yeah? Lady, why in the 7 hells do you think you deserve that? Maid, see, I cook way better than you. Lady, says who? Maid, your husband. I also do the laundry better than you. Lady, and why do you think so? Maid, your husband said it. I'm also much better in bed than you are. The lady, did my husband also say that? Maid, no, but the gardener did. Lady, red or yellow for the Ferrari?
Wait, that checkbook came out real quick. Taking out people's eyes and shit.
Oh, man. All right.
I like it.
All right.
What?
I got a couple more punchier ones if you want to wrap it up, but you can keep going. I'm loving these.
Okay. A man walked. Oh, this is one I just want to make sure. Okay. A man walked into a cafe, went to the bar, and ordered a beer. Certainly, sir. That would be 1 cent. 1 cent? The man exclaimed. He glanced at the menu and asked, "How much for a nice juicy steak and a bottle of wine?" "A nickel," the barman replied. "A nickel? Where's the guy who owns this place?" The bartender replied. "Upstairs with my wife." The man asked, "What's he doing upstairs with your wife?" The bartender replied, "The same thing I'm doing to his business down here." I like that one. That tickles me.
I love that. That's great. All right, Sean. This is a remix of one that you've told already, but it's useful for the next few weeks, if you know what I mean. Well, you know what I mean when we get to it.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So, a driver was stuck in a horrible traffic jam outside the Houses of Parliament. Suddenly, a man knocks on the window. The driver rolls down the window and asks what's going on. Terrorists have kidnapped everyone in the House of Commons and they're asking for £100 million ransom. Otherwise, they're going to douse them all in gasoline and set them on fire. We're going from car to car collecting donations. How much is everyone giving on average? The driver asks. The man replies, roughly a gallon.
You know what? I do. So
You have told me, yeah.
This was like some sort of.
It was American, I think. Yeah,
it was either American or Russian.
Yeah. I thought remixed. Yeah, it was Russian. Remix that in because obviously in the UK at the time of recording this, we are going to be finding potentially a new prime minister. Right. I've got a couple more short ones before you want to get out of it. If you want to get busy,
I'm gonna keep it going.
Okay. All right. I'm loving that last one. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I'm loving the ones that have the twist in it that you don't see coming. When
they're my favourite.
Yeah.
I feel like at this moment in time, we've got to the stage where like we can almost finish quite a few of the jokes.
Yeah. Probably you more than me. I'm there like, huh?
Not even.
I laugh now and then sit down and write it down later and work out if it's funny.
Wait, have you seen the fella I can't remember his name. It's a white Jamaican brother. Not the white Jamaican. There's another white Jamaican.
Not
guy.
the white yardy comedian.
Not the white yardy. But
The guy-
he's funny,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
but it's another slim.
Yeah,
brother,
yeah. Dark hair.
Yeah. He gives me a bad joke because he will go around, tell someone a joke that doesn't make sense, and then laugh it, and then he'll be like, "Yeah. Now explain it though, innit?" And they're like, huh? And he's like, "Now explain the joke, innit?" Like, it's so awkward.
It's like the story's like a man will go and a man will leave the house with 2 pints of water and come back with 3 pints of water, and the guy will be like, well, explain
No,
it.
explain it, though.
Explain why the extra pint of water is funny.
What?
Because
You see people backtracking or making up some next stuff.
you
innit?
know, because extra water in it is fat. Terrible.
Right.
I've learned a lesson I've got to say in my life now. It's safer to just say I don't understand it or I don't know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
way earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get embarrassed out here. You get me?
All right.
Go on.
Jake was dying.
Sorry.
You don't see that one coming, did you?
Whoa, Sorry.
Oh, let me try that one again.
Sorry, Sean. I apologize, bro.
Jake was dying. His wife sat at his bedside. He looked up and said weakly, "I have something I must confess." "There's no need to," his wife replied. "No," he insisted. "I want to die in peace. I slept with your sister, your best friend, her best friend, and your mother." "I know," she replied. "Now just rest and let the poison take effect."
At dinner, my girlfriend suddenly told me that it's over between us. Me. Why? Her. For starters, I'm sick of your terrible jokes. Me. I see. And for the main course?
He's pot committed at that point. You might as well just
Yeah.
get involved.
Now, I don't know if this is funny or not. Sometimes I read this is hilarious. Sometimes I don't, right? This is the last one. It's a really short one. Why don't boxers have sex the night before a fight?
I don't know.
Because they probably don't even like each other.
You know, that's a good. I like that one. That's a good one.
Makes sense,
That's
doesn't
a
it?
good-
Yeah. Now, that is unless you got anything else, Sean, that is our jokes of the week.
That is our jokes.
I'm gonna hit you with a bit of a left one. It's time for our
Oh, do I have to dodge? What's going on?
a left right hook. It's time for our jokes from the audience.
Of the week.
Oh, you kept that one on the wraps.
Yeah, I did. Because we've done so many jokes, I feel like only one is sensible this week. But if you do want to get your jokes in, people have been sending them in via Instagram. People have been sending them in to jokes@howtokillanhour.com or our various social medias. I think those two are the best. Instagram and email, easiest, because then we can collect them all together and go from it. So shout out to Mr. Gomez, who sent this over to us. So here's a quick joke. So the chief doctor is doing the rounds with the new medical students when they enter a room and see a patient masturbating. The students start looking around and the chief doctor says, "This patient has a rare condition, a really bad tumour, and they have to masturbate every hour or it will become very, very painful." The rounds continue and in the next room, there's a nurse giving another patient oral. "This patient," says the doctor, "has the same condition as the former patient, but they have much better health insurance." It's alright, isn't it? It's not bad. I like it. Also skinned it back and wow. Whoa. Also peeled back the layers of the joke and let your mind take your imagination for who the doctors and the patients are and what they look like. There you go. That's a good one, isn't it?
I like it.
We have more, but Sean, we've done so many jokes. I'm happy to move on. If you want to move on,
I think that we should. I want to keep this section in.
okay. You want to keep this section?
Yeah,
Okay,
man,
okay,
for
all right.
sure.
All right. Next week we'll have some more audience jokes.
Of the week.
So it's time to move on to our next part of the show, Sean. And this is our random fact.
Of the week.
Okay.
This jingle's getting a workout
Isn't
today,
it?
isn't it? So, true story. Wayne and Brent Gretzky. True story. Wayne and Brent Gretzky hold the NHL record for the most points scored by a pair of brothers, with Wayne scoring 2,857 and Brent scoring 4. That's a wild fact.
You know what? When you started saying that, I was thinking, are we talking about the Wayne Gretzky? Because I don't recognise his brother's name.
Yeah. That's mad, isn't it? Like, for you to hold such an amazing record and you scored 4.
His brother's there going, is what it is, though, isn't it?
Yeah, brother walks in like whatever belt he's got and he adjusts his belt. Just adjusting my championship belt. You get me? Do you know who I am? I'm world record breaking, bro. I've scored 4 of those. But I mean, how entitled is he to be proud of that? Is he has he got bragging rights or not?
You would, innit? Just because it's your brother, and you would absolutely love to wind him up.
Yeah. So without me, you'd be number 2. Yeah,
you would. I feel as if, you would you would lead into it. I think you would lead with that at every single interaction that you possibly have with your brother.
Yeah. And I think this is off the dome. I think Wayne has more as a single person than like 6 other people. Like, or he's like top 2. Something weird, like he's really, really high, but he's not the highest for single scorer or something like that.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I don't know much about NHL, but I, as far as I'm aware, like the fact that I'm aware of him, I'm gonna say he's kind of like the Tom Brady of NHL, but people can correct me. I'm not correct on that one. Come on, hit me with another random fact.
That was it. It was random facts of the week.
Random,
that was it.
Was it random
it was random fact. That was it for this week. I'm sorry.
Whet my appetite there.
Wind it back.
Wind
down the podcast.
Like,
it wasn't facts. It was random facts.
Okay.
I'll give you a bit more of this fact though, right? Apparently, right, here we go. Here's the breakdown. Okay, cool. 200, 857 for Wayne and 4 for Brent. And a second overall in points scored by any number of brothers behind the 6 brothers of the Stutter family who combined had 2,934. So 6 people scored 2,934 and the 2 brothers scored 2,857. So if Brent just flipping scored 50 more, bro, 60 more in his career, they'd be the top of the table when it came to anyone else. But
sounds like he wasn't really pulling his weight, to be honest.
He sounds like the brother that when the mum says tidy up, he's the one that somehow manages to chill or do the easiest things, and the other brother has to do all the work, and the mum comes in and goes, you forgotten to Hoover, and he's like, see, I told you, bro. Like, yeah, man, that's how it goes, man.
All right. Next week,
I
shall. We'll change it to facts because I'll bring one next week.
Bro, listen, as you know, this show stays exactly the same every single week and doesn't change.
Not a little.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not one bit.
For this next part of the show, though, Sean, I've got a little bit for you. I mean, unless you have something that you'd like to bring to me of the week.
Oh, go for it, bro.
I've got my of the week, Sean. We've got our weird sport of the week.
We're bringing this back.
German finger wrestling.
Huh?
Yes, Sean. We're about to partake in watching some German finger wrestling. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about German finger wrestling before we get into it because it's a fascinating show of strength. This is a real sport. At the moment recording this, there are the Euros going on where we have the best European football teams allegedly play. No, we have the best European football teams representing nations playing football, right? And it's taken over most of Europe and the UK in a way, right? But in a small Bavarian village, more than 150 guys risk their fingers for a chance at glory in Germany's wacky finger wrestling championship. That's right, where the Euros are happening, there is also a finger wrestling championship this year. Despite the risk of dislocated fingers, strained sinews, and more than 150 men from Bavaria gather to compete in Germany's unique national champions of finger hacking. I'm so sorry. It's finger hacking. Finger hackel? Finger hackel? What do you think that looks like?
It looks like
hackel.
It sounds. I don't know German at all, but finger hackeln sounds looks like that would be correct.
Okay, it doesn't get much more German than this. The finger wrestlers meet in a big beer tent in a small southern village. Around 1,000 visitors cheer on the all-male contestants as they gulp down their beer, and the world-famous German sausages, which probably look quite fingery. I would call them German things on a day, Selmore. It goes on, right, Sean? So I've explained what it is. I'm showing you some pictures. This is no joke, right? They actually have a support team member behind them.
Wait, can we just comment on the outfits?
Oh, they're wearing lederhosen.
No, wearing like full on lederhosen.
Lederhosen is on, bro. I'd say, and yeah, so they've got proper lederhosen on. These look like real ones that are made by real German people. These don't look like some silly little, I'm going to Oktoberfest lastminute.com lederhosen. These look like they're real.
It's like an Amazon jobby.
Yeah, there's a referee, and I don't know if you can see, Sean. There's like a rubber band thing that they hold between their fingers, which is what each of them are grabbing on. They use. It looks like they use their index finger on each hand.
It's not.
It's not their fingers locked.
Oh,
So
right.
there's a little ring that they hold. It's a little leather ring, and then there's a referee who's keenly watching this. And for some reason, I don't know if this is the prize money, but there's just some random kit behind them. There's like a toolbox.
Oh yeah, David clock that.
Looks like some washing sponges, a vinyl, a Jägermaster fridge, other tools, power tools. This is very typical male. Here's a close up of the German ring, Sean. If you want to describe it to those listening to the podcast,
You want me to describe the German leather ring piece?
yeah. I mean, their fingers look battered, innit?
Yeah. It is a. It looks like a.
You're gonna say
Thick.
German leather ring, aren't you?
A thick rubber band.
Yeah.
Made out of. It looks. You know what it looks like? It looks a little bit. What's this? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah.
Because of the way that it's stitched.
Yeah.
And also because it is of a flesh coloured colour.
Yeah, man. It's
a little,
flesh colour.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little bit creepy.
It does. It looks like they dust up their hands for it. Yeah, there's a bit of chalk that goes into it. And looking at the Prime Sports members, I have no idea what the ideal physical body shape. Oh my
Wait,
god,
what's
somebody's
that?
warming
What's
up.
that?
Oh my god. So somebody's warming up. This is how strong their finger is. Somebody's warming up. They've got their feet in these two holsters and they're connected to a bungee rope. Yeah, and they're flexing their finger. So they're standing on something and pulling their finger up and down to exercise it.
What? Wait, hold on a minute. What's on the front of that? Is that like a roller?
I think it's just space for him to. I think he's got two bits of gym equipment and he's using the handles for his hands, but he's shoving his feet through the holes.
You gotta warm up though. Don't want to dislocate a finger.
Warming up, man. Warming up.
You know, especially after you train for so long.
Exactly. Yeah, these guys. All joking aside, these guys must have. There's a guy who's on a weight, warming up for his bout. Because it's about endurance as well. Right, Sean, I've gone on about it enough. Do you want to see some German finger wrestling?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, cool. I think we can have a clip here for our guys on the tube of you watching us. So shout out to Press TV for this. Here is some German finger wrestling. Whoa! Can we talk about what just happened there? That was wild.
What?
The 61st German Finger Halking Championship. What just happened there? We need to replay that.
Bruv, that didn't. Either he thought that his finger was going to snap, but it felt like he was. It felt choreographed.
It looks like the guy on the right. So let's just get it right. The guy on the right was so strong that he pulled the guy on the left over the table.
And then caught him into like a cradling position.
I mean, if he's managed to do this so easily, he is probably the Bruce Lee of finger lacking because he looks like that's a 1 inch punch almost. He's done there's no effort in that. Look, let's just watch it again. Come on. Pulled him right over the table.
I don't know.
Were they playing? Was that real? All right, there's some more serious competitors here. These
guys
look like
you can see the pain on their face.
Yeah, right. Let's watch a little bit of this so you can see the real strength that goes into it. When does it end? Look at this. So they can actually. They actually put they hold their knees against the table. No, if your finger releases.
Oh my god, Oh yeah, his finger released.
Oh man, this could take. Oh my god, people do go over the table.
People literally do come flying over the top of the table because people.
Sorry, we got to reload. Look at that.
There was there was a larger chap who had his knees up on the table, and they kind of went underneath, and then he just got pulled like he was mounting the table. Oh wow!
Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, but this finger
Halken
looks fantastic. There's an old geezer there.
Oh, you won as well, bruv.
Yeah, man. You can't mess with the vice grip of an old geezer.
And then we've got a little bit of accordion and lots of other
Germans
people
who are enjoying a lot. It looks very civilized. I've always been very impressed.
Can I just say, with the amount of beer that we're talking about being drank previously, it looked all very organized. It looked like, the referees were doing their job, the spotters were doing their job.
Yeah,
a good bit of organised sport.
I like it. It does look like the kind of game that we'd make up at school. Like if, for example, like our football had burst and we couldn't get another football at break. That's the kind of game we'd make up, like finger wrestling, where we'd probably just get like some rubber bands or something and just be like, whoever can pull whoever over the line. We'd probably make like a 1-man tug of war or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what you do, man. That sounds really ropey, innit? A one-man tug of war.
Oh, did you really? Did you say that? I think you've been hanging around me too long. Mate. You just puns coming out left, right, and centre. You're not even
It's
meaning
wonderful,
to.
bro.
Oh.
So how was that for your sport of the week, Sean? Are you happy with that?
I think I'm going to say that is potentially. That's potentially one. That's potentially my favorite. There was that one as well where they were getting pulled and they were skiing with the horses. Do you remember that one?
Oh, that was wild.
That one was wild as well.
That
one
was wild. That was absolutely what Sean, I've got to say, when I was watching that, in hindsight, that was so much more like that. Right, this sport we looked at, lose a finger. Worst case scenario, I think. Yeah, lose a finger. Right,
maybe you come over the top of the table. You might hurt yourself a little bit.
hurt yourself, lose a finger. At worst case, right?
worst case.
Doctor says you can never compete again.
That's tough news to take.
You get me? Like, but the other sport that we saw was like dead. Like
They were like, "Welcome to the pearly gates."
How did you get here? I don't know. But yeah, Sean, those were our bits of the week, tweaking up a little bit. Time for another section of the show, Sean, if you're ready to move on. Time for our news stories / funky headlines.
Of the week.
So, Sean, have you ever wondered what the world would be like without the internet?
No, because I experienced it. Sorry,
let me rephrase that.
Did I fuck up? Did I fuck
That
up
was
the segment?
that was a correct level of obtuseness. I'll accept that. That was my fault. I apologize. I deserved it. I deserve a bit.
Okay, let's go.
Have you ever wondered what the world would be like today without any internet?
Wow, no. Wow, that is wild. Yes, you know why? You know why? Because we did that thing before of Would You Rather, and one of them was not have internet for a week.
Oh yeah.
So we brushed over. Do you remember those?
Would you rather's of the week? Oh, we were talking about of the weeks. I mean, we do it every week. Let's not forget. Probably
Can I
forgot.
just say, I used to really enjoy those.
All right, we'll bring them back. Okay, cool. So there's a remote tribe I think they get Starlink access, right? In the
As
Amazon.
in the Starlink, the Elon.
Yeah. Elon Musk. For hundreds of years, the Brazilian Marubo tribe of about 2,000 people has lived deep in one of the most remote parts of the Amazon rainforest, cut off from outsiders without modern technologies. But life changed for the tribe 9 months ago when an American entrepreneur, Alison Renew, thought it would be a great idea to give them Starlink internet access. A few Marubo tribe members had phones that they used to take photos when they went into the city, but there was no internet there at all. It all started out with a click and everything was good. They got help from snake bites and stuff like that. They connected with other tribes and stayed in touch with family and friends who moved away. Younger tribe members expanded their horizons, getting a peek into life outside their small remote community.
Dangerous.
Suddenly-
Very dangerous.
Teens had big dreams from becoming a dentist in the big city to traveling the world. Great. But then things changed. Ba-da-da.
Can we cue some eerie?
You know what, Sean?
Have you got it?
For you, if you can fill for a moment with some random words, we can make it happen, bro.
I want some deep atmospheric
Okay. All right.
music.
I don't know. I'll try my best. I might be able to get some. The descriptions are making it hard
I'm
to
not
get.
gonna lie, I feel like this is the kind of thing that we should have done. We should have done beforehand.
Yeah, you know when you have like a
Mad,
planning
isn't it?
session, I'm like, what if I get it really wrong and just play like a really unreasonable
What, like a really jaunty tune?
or like a really happy song?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I don't know, you quite captured the read the room, bro.
Sorry, that's not dramatic enough.
A little bit more dark.
We have got actually some suspense sound effects. Here we go. Or I realise with these sound effects, the more you press them together at the same time, the more dramatic they get. So let's try.
That one's got like serial killer being trapped in a basement vibes about it.
Yeah, that's from Among Us. Yeah. So then things changed big time.
I nailed it. Oh, that was suspenseful.
I just pressed all of them at the same
That's
time. There
great.
was 8 of them. Do that one more time. But then things changed big time. So that was only 6. That's why it's slightly less. Right. The younger tribe members found and became quickly addicted to porn, social media, and video games. They started sharing all kinds of explicit videos and group chats and getting sexually aggressive. Oh, that's horrible. The Marubo don't even kiss in public usually. Oh shit, that's a culture. If you don't kiss in public, it's a culture shock. People of all ages now have trouble putting down their phones. Tribe members have also been falling victim to scams since they'd never heard of them any before. Oh damn, they're like, damn, there's 60 Marubo tribe members in my area. Oh my god, I can't believe I won this prize. I can't believe I'm on a holiday to all right. The older members say that when the internet first arrived, everyone was happy. But now things have gotten worse. People have gotten lazy in the village. If you don't fish, hunt, plant, you don't eat. The internet has made the tribe addicted and divided. Their solution is screen limit, screen time. And I don't know how to feel about this, because I don't know if I feel like eventually this tribe may have happened upon the internet, but I feel like because somebody's come along and introduced them to it, it makes it a little bit bad, doesn't it?
It does, because if it was organic, then you're kind of like, you know, but this is the thing, innit? What is like, if there's like a town or there's villages or whatever that end up growing around them, then you're like, is that organic, or you know, whatever. But as soon as you started saying this, that's where my head went. I was like, this is
in your head. You went,
this,
of the week. Yeah,
it was bound to happen. Do you know what it is as well? Is if you've never had, like, for instance, if you've never had the internet before, and then suddenly you have access to the entire World Wide Web, like that must be so overwhelming.
Do you know what? Let me explain this a bit more. And if you're younger than us, because you're around and the internet was around as soon as you were young, so hang tight, because I'm not trying to bash and be like a boomer, right? But I feel like the way we got introduced to the internet was good, because it was slow, because it was there and it grew as we were there. Like, so our first version of internet access was you could like search for a maybe popular wrestler and get a picture of them and print it off on a school computer. But
the picture would take 5 minutes very slowly to load.
Yep.
That was the kind of level. And it was still like, wow.
And then we'd all print off like a picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock and get in trouble from our IT teacher. And then we started to get into emails, and there was little bits of online gaming like pool and stuff like that you could get into, and network gaming. And we were like there before social media, and then
the chat stuff, obviously.
Yeah, MSN.
Like MSN and High Five and those kind of
MySpace and all that stuff. But we like as like Wikipedia came out as we were like around the internet. So
we had Encarta
95. Encarta 95.
95 was a lit version as well.
It had that, to us, that was the World Wide Web. That had everything. You type in fish, and it'll give you information about fish.
That was our version of Wikipedia.
Yeah, it was.
Encarta. If you don't know about Encarta, don't look it up, because it won't be very interesting now.
It was the digital.
It was a digital version of having like 30 encyclopedias.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Encarta. That's what it was. It came out in 1993 and finished in 2009.
Damn, I didn't realise it was.
God damn,
hanging on.
Yeah,
Wiki was like, guys, you probably.
Wiki kicked the ish out of it. But yeah, man. So like internet, and then we had social started to trickle in, and I think if we had a certain level of understanding of what's real and what's not, like I kind of knew when I first saw like a pop-up saying like, hey, you've won £1 million. I was like, oh, come on, man, like whatever. But if you've had no experience of the internet and you go all the way to 100, you've got access to everything. I'd be a totally different person if I could access all information like you can now, pretty much. I just think it changes who you are. And like they've taken a community from what it sounds like don't have any tech, hardly, on the scale of things, and they've got like all information at once. It's too much, man.
It's too much. It's too much, and it's too quick.
Yeah, man.
So I would, and I honestly think if you were to run this experiment 20 times over in all different places in the world, this would happen everywhere.
Same results. Same results. Yeah.
Unless there was some sort of integration or way of trickle feeding it initially, just to get like this. Man. You're just like you've got like a speck, and suddenly you've got like the sun, and you're just like overwhelmed. It's too much. You just don't. Yeah. It's way too much.
But then, who am I to tell you like this tribe? You're not ready for that level of internet yet. I don't think I'd want to make that decision, because I feel like who am I?
Yeah, but it's different. I'm not sure if it was that they were going, please give us the internet, and we were like, guys, I don't think this is a good idea, but Alison Renault, or whoever it was, I'm guessing that they just turned up and were like, "Oh, this is a fun experiment. Let's fuck with these people's."
I feel like from the spelling of the name, they're French. They're like, you look like you need the internet.
I really had to stop myself.
I could not. I knew. What am I thinking of Poirot? Just turn up. Oh, has been given the internet. Sorry. So yeah, man, I feel like they're just being delivered the internet, but
it's too much, too much, too quick.
I mean, I'm gonna go. It's gonna mess up my Google search, but how much of the internet is porn? Because I always hear like 99 of it. Like, how much of the internet is porn? Percentage wise, it is still. Okay, it's 12% of the internet is porn. 12%. That's still a lot, though. That's still a lot.
I was reading an article some point this week, and it said that the word, I think it's Latin, porneo means to sell, and that's where the origin of the word pornography came from. It was an article about it was an article about like historical prostitution. Oh
yeah, man. Oldest.
Yeah, but it was like saying, because like people were saying, oh, well, then it's, you know, who are the ones who are it's like, you know, it's a male thing that they're making, you know, but women do such of their pimps, etc., like that. But it was actually saying that a lot of the stuff actually had to do with like gods and deities back in the day, ancient Mesopotamia, stuff like that. It was just quite interesting, but yeah.
Heavy, man. Yeah, man. Oldest trade in the book, and I think there's a massive conversation to be had about who has controlled it. I mean, going off what's happened historically, my guess with no information is something that women developed and men came along and fucked up, because it's kind of what we're doing it like, oh, that's nice, let me get a little piece of that, you get me, like muscled in and fucked it all up, because you know, I think women using their sexual prowess for power has been an amazing use of psychological and physiological kind of energy that we've seen. Like when you got to look at people like Cleopatra, Marilyn Monroe, you know, people that really like elevated themselves, and obviously part of their process was using sex. So yeah, it's a fascinating conversation to have. Way too intelligent for me in this podcast today. Maybe we'll discuss it later on, who knows, man. If you want us to talk about more stuff like that, do let us know. Sean, can we just do a little bit? It's a bit of the show that we usually do earlier on in the week, but we're going to do it now. Can I just press those
do it.
Can I do the suspense one? All 8 of them at the same time, yeah? Count me down, bro. Give me a 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Wow.
That was our drama
of the week.
That was the drama of the week. So yeah, Sean, it's time for our little killer bit. How we been killing some time? How we might recommend that our listeners kill some time throughout the week. I'm going to keep it nice and short, Sean. Brother's Son. Join me on it. I've not quite finished it yet. I'm nowhere further than when I last spoke to you, so I'm going to get into that. Okay. And I'm finishing Dark Matter. Did I mention Dark Matter to you on Apple TV?
You did mention.
Last 2 episodes have dropped on that. I've stopped myself watching it last week and this week. We're recording this on a Wednesday. This is coming out. The last one coming out today. So yeah, check the whole season on Apple TV.
Dark Matter.
Yeah, man. Nice little bit. Did you have a go on it or not?
I haven't. I have not sat and watched anything for like the longest time.
Same. I've just watched some like old stuff when I've got in late. Just kind of
putting something on.
Kind of watches you while you scoff your food and then go to bed.
But and obviously, Euros has been on, etc. So
yeah, that as well.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just say, because I went actually out and did some work there. I was over there when it was England Denmark in Frankfurt. I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, look, let's not talk about the game because, you know, we all kind of know what the results were. But can I just say, like, German police officers look ready to go. They all look really good looking, right? All in shape, all look ready for a rockers. All shapes and sizes were like tall, short, but all trim.
Yeah.
And when we pulled up in Frankfurt, got off the train, and then we're walking towards this line of officers. Oh, by the way, there were armed officers on our trains as well. I think they're just armed out there. They were like patrolling up and down. And there was like a tall officer, good looking, short officer, not so good looking, tall officer, good looking, short officer, not so good looking. Does that need to work out? As we got closer, I realised that they sent English police officers over like they do international games.
English police officers.
So sorry. But plot twist, there was a northern youth acting up a little bit, a bit tipsy, and one of the officers stepped forward and they had an England flag on and police in English and was like, oi, James, I know your mum, behave. And he was like, oh no. And I was like, that's why they do it. Got a seasoned police officers who know the community. This is why we need community police officers, bro. Telling you.
You know as well, like back in the day,
yeah.
You formed like in a thing where you would. Do you remember Terminator?
Yeah, Terminator. Moped Terminator. Yeah.
In like Ladbroke Grove.
Yeah, you have to explain this to the listener, man.
So this is it. But it was one of them ones that people had respect for him like a referee.
Yeah,
that's the way that way I could put it. But it was this police officer back in the day, and if my man started running after you, you better not stop. Do not stop, because he could run 4 days and he would catch you.
100%, bro.
And so people were like, he became infamous. Oh, I like this. I like this suspenseful music.
You know, sure, this is the Terminator music.
That was it. Ah, shit.
I mean, some people said the Terminator though. He
would chase people.
He would not stop.
Chase people on bikes.
Yeah, he doesn't bleed. He doesn't smile. He doesn't feel.
No, none of that.
He will not stop. I don't know what the quote is from the film that I'm butchering right now. But yeah, apparently he's strong. He like clotheslined somebody off a moped once. That's so I heard, and caught them.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't clothesline. Like clothesline. By the way, this was before CCTV on all camera shows. Apparently clotheslined somebody and then caught them on the back, and then like the ped skidded off into the distance, and they were like.
Damn, son.
Everyone was like, I was gonna say like, come with me if you want to live, but that's the wrong film. Dominator, you're being dominated. So yeah, man. What a great story though, man. And like, obviously, it was like legends to survive a chase in the Terminator. He was rarely seen unless you were up to a lot of mischief. But man, he was He was like a ref, innit?
He was. You didn't want to meet him, but he was respected enough. You were like, bruh.
Yeah, man.
Like, if you get like Fat Gary, man, you'll be all right. But if you get Terminator, you'll
game over.
You ain't getting away.
Game over, man.
Getting away,
but,
so.
yeah.
But it's this community policing that you're talking about. That's smart.
It was good, man. It was good.
Smart.
And the British fans acted very British, if I'm honest. England fans are very Englandy, and we are definitely the noisier, rowdier bunch when compared to the Denmark's.
We have
supporters.
Such a bad.
I got to be honest, Sean.
Such a bad reputation.
I ain't seen much to really argue against it at the moment. Yes. I've noticed drinking culture in other countries. I can guarantee I've been to other countries and seen people start drinking at 10 a.m. and continue till 7, 8, 9, and they're tipsy. But organised. I even saw a couple of Germans that were like tipsily wandering into. Germans actually. Yeah, German supporters speaking German, or they may support Denmark speaking German. So I don't know what it was, but they were definitely speaking German. But one of them rolled it. You could see them a bit tipsy, couple like having a bit of laugh, rolled into McDonald's to get food, just smiley, looking vibey, everything like that. And then you saw some like England fans when they got a bit in the system after the game, bruv. It looked a bit wavy. You know what I mean? But I don't know. The rep we have.
It is.
At least no one thinks we're weak, though. Yeah. Anyway, look, Sean, it's been a hell of a show as per usual. Thank you for all of your things of the week that you brought to the table. I hope you've enjoyed what I've brought to the table.
I have enjoyed what you brought to the week.
There we go. Please do follow us on social media at How to Kill an Hour. Send your jokes at howtokillanhour.com, or you can send them on the Instagram or any other social if you must feel. At Marcus Bronzy is where you can find me on socials, at MarcusBronzy. Where can we find you, Sean?
Still nowhere. But
on the show next week.
On the show next week,
man.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll have a little update on how England's doing by then. Will we?
Yes, I think it will be Sunday. I think Sunday will be the game.
See how it goes, man.
Indeed.
All right, cool. Peace.
Bless people.